Live from Arkansas' streaming news leader, this is THV 11 Morning News at 7 on THV 11 Plus.
Happy Friday, everybody. Hope you're doing great. Hayden, Ashley, Tracy in the house. Karen is off today, getting her weekend started a little early, but I'm very happy to see you all this Friday morning.
It's been a good morning. It's gone by pretty quickly.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Real fast.
It's gone by so fast this morning, but this week has flown by. I think everyone just getting, we talk about the first week of school being busy, but the week before preparing is busy too.
Listen, the list, your mom's, how much we got to get ready just before we even get day one in the classroom.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I know. We had a Meet the Teacher last night, which went really, really well. Really excited about Addie's teachers, and so nice to meet you, by the way, just in case you are watching. We were talking about just the extra little things that we needed. So, I've got my whole other little extra list to make sure that she's prepared and ready, and to help out the teachers as well, with their wish lists. And so there's a whole nother level of shopping.
You're on the ball.
I'm trying.
Come on.
I'm trying. Yeah, it's a bit of a mess. I might have gotten a little aggravated last night when Addie and I were separating supplies. Sorry about that, Addie.
I know. I walked in this morning and I looked at Tracy. I go, I think I'm kind of grouchy today. I was like, I'm just tired.
I'm just tired. Look, it's Friday, y'all. We're almost there. All these kids are like, we better enjoy this weekend.
Yeah.
You better enjoy it. I'm telling you right now, because next week, it's on.
It's just a lot on everybody's plate right now. We understand. That's why we're trying to make it easier for you.
You know what I'm excited about is when the kids, the little kids especially, they take those first day of school pictures, and they're so cute and so
excited about the first day.
I want to see when you finish the first day.
The huge one.
The comparison, those are the best. When you just play hard and those babies are so tired.
Yes. Does Addie get excited about what she's going to wear first day?
No, she doesn't care at all.
She doesn't care?
No, not even a little bit.
Oh.
Not even a little bit.
That was always a big deal, I feel like.
She doesn't care about that at all. She's excited about seeing her friends.
Yeah.
But other than that, she likes tennis shoes. More
than
anything.
It's all about the
shoes,
the sneakers.
Yeah, she's got her new sneakers.
Whether you're running, driving, walking today, all good. The journey's going to start for you because Ashley's got you hooked up with the traffic.
That's right. Traffic's going to be important now until, especially next week. It's,
next week.
Getting to school on time. You don't want to get a tardy slip.
Now until next summer.
That's right. You're right. So it's looking pretty good right now. I mean, we're just getting into the 7 o'clock hour and things aren't looking too bad. We're seeing a lot of green, no major accidents, no slowdowns really across the metro. We're getting a look right now at the Big Rock interchange where it's a beautiful morning. The sun is rising. Things are looking pretty good. Our drive times into downtown, if you're on your way into work this morning and you're coming from Conway, just 24 minutes. If you're coming from Benton, that's a nice drive, just 18 minutes on I-30 with an average speed of 66 miles per hour, and about the same if you're coming from Cabot, just going to take you 19 minutes to get to downtown Little Rock. So Tracy, things are looking pretty good, just like the weather, I hope.
Yeah, so far, things aren't too bad. We are definitely being influenced by this high pressure that is off to the west, and it's bringing some of that smoke in and giving that hazy conditions, but it also brought in a bit of moisture from the north, and eastern Arkansas got a few little light rain showers. I tried to look at the amounts that fell, but it was so light that it's not really picking it up. So again, it was nice to see, though. It makes you feel a little bit better, although I bet it was a little muggy after it moved on out. But we are still talking about heat as we're moving into the weekend, and those dry conditions are persisting in the coming days. And next week is going to be our best chance for some rain midweek. But the heat advisories are starting to come into the state, and we're going to start to see those in the afternoon, and making sure you're staying hydrated and staying safe. This is your hour-by-hour forecast for today, looking for that high right around 96, and that heat index value here in central Arkansas right around 102. But just notice as well, even at 6 p.m. it's going to be 95 degrees, still feeling like 100. So if you got to get out and mow the yard today like my husband does, just make sure you're staying hydrated. I'll keep those drinks coming. But here's our heat alerts for today. So again, we're going to start to see this expand, I bet, into the weekend, but we'll keep a look at that and then also let you know your next chance for rain coming up in my forecast in a couple of minutes.
Tracy, thank you. Breaking news overnight, major moves in the war in Gaza. Israel's security cabinet just approving a plan to take control of Gaza City. The decision stops short of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's push to take over the entire territory. Palestinians in Gaza City are condemning this move. Families of hostages protesting outside the Prime Minister's office overnight, warning the offensive puts their loved ones at greater risk. The UN says a full takeover could be catastrophic for civilians and hostages. Netanyahu says Israel doesn't want to govern Gaza long term, only hand it over to Arab forces once Hamas is disarmed.
We don't want to govern it. We don't want to be there as a governing body. We want to hand it over to Arab forces that will govern it properly without threatening us and giving Gazans a good life. That's not possible with Hamas.
Netanyahu says aid will keep flowing outside combat zones and laid out 5 principles to end the war, including disarming Hamas, freeing hostages, and keeping Israeli security control. Hamas warns any expansion will be costly for Israel. Ceasefire and hostage talks have collapsed, with both sides blaming each other. Turning now to the war in Ukraine, the White House is preparing to step up sanctions on countries buying Russian oil after Russia missed President Trump's ceasefire deadline. Yesterday, President Trump put the blame squarely on Russian President Vladimir Putin. The White House already slapped India with a 25% tariff for trading with Russia. Despite the tensions, Trump says he is open to meeting Putin, who hinted a face-to-face could happen as soon as next week, possibly in the Middle East.
We're going to see what he has to say. It's going to be up to him. They would like to meet with me, and I'll do whatever I can to stop the killing.
This week, Trump's special envoy met with Putin in Moscow, calling the talks, quote, highly productive. But the White House currently has no meeting plans, and they are not set, as Trump says he would sit down with Putin, and that would not depend on Putin meeting with Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky. Putin says talks with Zelensky are still far off. Zelensky stresses Ukraine and Europe must have a seat at the table. Well, a battle over soaring health insurance premiums is heating up between Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders and the leading providers in Arkansas's Obamacare marketplace. Centene, Blue Cross, and Ambetter have filed requests with regulators to boost premiums anywhere from 20 to 54%. Governor Sanders is pushing back, calling those proposed hikes both wrong and, in her words, prohibited under Arkansas law. Insurers point to rising health care costs and the loss of certain Affordable Care Act credits as driving factors behind their requests. The State Insurance Board plans to issue its initial response to the proposals later this month. Meanwhile, Senator Tom Cotton is spearheading a push for Intel CEO Lip-Bu Tan to step down. In a letter to the company's chairman, Cotton raised concerns about Tan's investments and connections to semiconductor companies reportedly tied to the Chinese Communist Party and China's People's Liberation Army. Cotton also pressed Intel's board to clarify whether Tan has divested his interests in those companies to avoid any potential conflicts of interest. President Donald Trump weighing in on social media, writing, "There is no other solution to the problem." Back here at home, a busy Little Rock street is sparking safety concerns for people living in the Capitol View Stiff Station neighborhood. It's the same stretch of Markham we have been covering, and plans are now in motion to address some of those concerns. Now, city officials had originally told us construction would begin last year, but that has still not happened. This morning in our 11 News Investigates segment, Brooke Buckner digs into what's behind this delay.
This is what Ashley Gramza sees every day when walking on 3rd Street near the Capitol.
It's really scary for myself, the kids, and the dogs, and it's just not safe.
Gramza says one of her concerns, cars going over the speed limit.
There needs to be some separation between the road and the sidewalk, and there also needs to be some traffic calming. There are no lights in this whole probably mile and a half. There's nothing to slow people down, and the speed limit is in the 30s, but you could go much faster than that very easily.
But eventually we will see some change here by the School for the Blind and Deaf, according to Little Rock's Interim Director of Public Works, Manish Krishnan.
We've received two sets of funding through RDOT to do a sidewalk in front of the blind and deaf school. So we're not looking at doing any road diet there, but there is going to be a sidewalk improvement project in that area.
But what about the road diet that's been planned on Markham? For years, the city has planned to reduce this stretch of Markham between Pearl and Cedar from 4 lanes to 3, with a center turning lane and sidewalks added.
What was the holdup exactly?
So basically, when we received partial funding in 2023, we decided to do half the project. And then when we received funding in 2024 for the remainder of the project, our funding agency told us it would be better if we just combine the entire project and bid it at once.
The city hasn't put out bids just yet, but it's one of the next steps.
Maybe in the fall we'll bid the project and have it under construction by the end of this year or early next year.
This neighborhood really, really needs this road diet.
In Little Rock, Brooke Buckner, THV 11 News.
Right now, Krishnan says there's no timeline for when we will see the sidewalks in front of the school for the deaf and the blind, but the city is in the process of hiring a design consultant. Well, back to school season often stirs a mix of emotions, some kids feeling excited while others wrestle with anxiety. Experts say a little nervousness is completely normal, but for some children, it could signal something more serious. A child and adolescent psychiatrist advises parents to start by simply listening to their kids.
Oftentimes parents want to jump in and make it better. But first and foremost, just being that active listener and really helping to understand what your child is feeling.
She also urges families to establish steady routines for sleep, meals, and homework while keeping a close eye out for warning signs of significant anxiety or depression, such as withdrawing from friends, changes in sleep patterns, or losing interest in activities they once enjoyed. If something seems off, she says don't wait, seek help right away. Well, big changes are hitting the streets for Little Rock students. Quite literally, the Little Rock School District has rolled out 25 brand new electric school buses. District leaders call it a move toward cleaner air and a healthier future. They say these zero-emission buses not only protect the environment, but also give students a quieter and safer ride. City and district leaders came together to mark the occasion, celebrating this investment in sustainability, student wellness, and innovation.
These buses aren't just transportation, they're rolling classrooms for sustainability, showing our students that innovation and care for the environment are values that we subscribe to.
The manufacturer, Bluebird, says each bus can travel up to 130 miles on a single charge and carry as many as 69 passengers. A $9.8 million EPA grant funded the new fleet. And as students in Arkansas return to the classroom, a new law is restricting cell phone use during school hours. Some districts are implementing the law for the first time, but others, like Hot Springs, actually started last year. THV11's Tamer Knight has reaction from school leaders and the response so far.
Well, good morning, Hayden. Starting in the 2025-26 school year, all schools across Arkansas will go bell to bell, no cell. That means phones will stay out of sight, and for many campuses, that includes locking them away in yonder pouches.
At the end of the day, if we get our way and the cell phone is not out between the bells, we have accomplished our goal.
Many districts across the state have taken to social media to announce their participation in the bell-to-bell, no-cell law.
Technology is a part of the world. People use phones all the time, so why shouldn't students be able to access those at school?
Last year, the state provided grants to several school districts to purchase yonder pouches. The Hot Springs School District participated in the pilot program.
The perks of it is having that visible, tangible thing that a student can always, have access to make sure that their phones are put up.
I took a trip to Hot Springs World-Class High School to see how it works when a student first gets to school.
So they will either verbally report, I do not have my phone with me today, or they'll show their yonder pouch and we'll see that something's in it. We are not opening it, we're not turning it on, we're not checking it. And I think that that is something that helps the students. Like we have to trust students when they come in.
Administrators say with the new policy implemented, they feel teachers have been able to preserve learning.
Students typically are not a fan of this because they do feel restricted. They don't have access to their phones. They don't have access to the notifications. They do, however, report more focus on schoolwork.
Plus, they say there's less drama as students improve their social skills.
I think the biggest positive is that students are being able to interact with each other. We've had a lot less, just at least from the data last year, a lot less interactions between students, whether it be fighting, arguments, and things like that, because they're building those relationships.
However, there still are safety concerns for some parents and students, like not being able to communicate during an emergency.
In a lot of ways, it is probably a safer environment for them not to have those and be able to let the safety plans process work themselves out, and then communication can happen after, the event.
Now, Hot Springs is offering advice to administrators, students, and parents ahead of the new year. It's simple, encouraging compliance for everyone. They say students who don't comply will face penalties. You can find more on the bell-to-bell no-sell law at thv11.com. But for now, for THV 11 News, I'm Tamer Knight.